I've had videos in the past where I talk about things I do right, things that I've learned that can help you, kind of tricks of the trade type deal. Well, this is going to be a video, the top 3 things I do wrong. I'm going to talk about what's wrong about them, why I still do them. My number 3 would be quarantining fish. No matter what, I always kind of use the excuse of, well, I buy them from a qualified dealer, a really, you know, reputable dealer. Even the reputable dealers will tell you to quarantine your fish. So I can't use that as an excuse why I don't do it. I mean, obviously, introducing disease to the tank is one of the main reasons why not to just add them, why to put them in a quarantine. If they're going to show the disease, then you can treat them, in a separate 20-gallon tank, 10-gallon tank, whatever your quarantine tank size is. Much easier to do than treating a whole tank of 25 fish. The reason why I still don't quarantine, I really don't have a good one. I mean, I can come up with 100 different things of why, it hasn't affected me, and it hasn't. The qualified dealer thing, it's all just excuses. I mean, it really should. I feel at this point in my fish keeping career that I can address an ick or something like that with no loss. So that's really the reason I do it. Not a good one, but it is what it is. Number 2, I'm going to take you over to a different video here, different tank. I'll warn you, there's going to be some live feeding. It's going to be talking about feeding feeder fish. So if you don't like that, click away. You can head to number 3. If not, here we'll continue. Feeding live feeder fish offers no benefit. Obviously, it introduces disease into the tank. And if I did get a bad batch of them, I mean, all these fish could die. Especially the peacock bass. I mean, not so much the other ones that don't really eat it, but it's still a possibility of introducing the disease. The reason I do it, obviously, is just for my own enjoyment. The fish do seem to like it. However, it's not like they get a big nutritional boost from it. You can see my daughter, she does enjoy doing it, but this is one of the 3 that definitely I'm going to stop. Like I said, I get a little bit of enjoyment out of it, but the risk reward, it really isn't worth it. So, of these 3, like I said, this is the one that for sure is going to go away from me. And the number 1 thing I do wrong, you see it right here in this tank. It's the mixing of the cichlids, Central American, hybrid, Victorian, African, all in the same tank. It doesn't matter whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube. This is probably I would say one of the hottest contested topics where people have their opinions on it one way or the other. Basically, I'm going to touch on 2 different things with it: the water parameters, and then the thriving versus surviving arguments that both sides like to make. Water parameters for me. In this tank right here is 7.6. Comes out of the tap at 7.6. I don't buffer with anything. I do add a little bit of Epsom salt to every water change, but that really doesn't do a whole lot, honestly. And that's honestly one of those things that I've kind of done forever, and I just do it. Whether there's really any benefit at all is, debatable. In the 265, I do have driftwood in there. That does lower the pH to about 7.4 by the time I'm ready to do another water change. So in about a time of 7 to 10 days, it lowers it by 0.2. As well as in the crushed coral in the 220, raises up to about 7.8. Same thing, takes time. Takes about 7 days really to raise it up. So really the benefit's pretty minimal in either one of those 2 tanks. And that's pretty much what the parameters here. I don't have any wild-caught fish in here. Most of these guys, honestly, pretty much, farm fish, and they were raised actually together, with other species. The argument always is, does make it right. But then in turn, people make that argument, keeping them in small tanks. Is it right to keep a fish that's in lake with millions of gallons of water to put them in a tank that that's 125 gallons or 180 or whatnot. So I kind of take that part of the argument out of it, and we're not going to really address what's right, what's wrong as far as that goes. The second part of it we're going to get into is the thriving versus surviving. Once again, kind of a gray area here where it's cool because it rhymes, but nobody ever offers like what a baseline for surviving versus a baseline versus of thriving is. So I'm going to show you this little video here. Head over to the Frontosa and see what you guys think. If I zoom in here on my Frontosa, you can see his nice long fins. He's got the nice hump going on his head. There's a nice little picture of him. And as you can see, when we're talking about thriving versus surviving, obviously a lot of people say they belong in all Tanganyikan or all species only tank, which I don't disagree with. But as you can see, he's doing really good in a predator hap tank. And the reason I do this and show you him, there's really never anything said about what makes a fish thriving versus a fish surviving. There's never a baseline or anything like that. To me, the appearance of the fish is as good a telling as anything, and like I said, his long fins, his appearance, to me that's about as good as it gets, guys. Alright guys, so there you have it. Those are my top 3 things. If there's anything that I missed, which there probably is, go ahead and leave it in the comments. If there's something that you're doing wrong, that you do it, go ahead and put that in the comments, whatever you want to talk about. I always try to answer any questions. As with anything I do, I do it, it works for me, doesn't mean it's going to work for you, and I don't recommend you doing. Hey, if you do it your own way, in the end, it's your fish, it's your money, it's your time. Spend it as constructively as you can. So that's all I got. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Remember, they're just stupid fish videos, and see you next time.